Admit it, Darshan, that you have mugged up this essay from somewhere, and I'll give you 12 out of 12. Otherwise, you will get a 0. I stood there alone in a class of 60 in Standard 5 when my teacher, while reviewing our answer sheets of Gujarati language, told that I had written an essay on monsoon season, and she was not ready to believe that I had written on my own. I had mugged it up from somewhere and put it down on the paper. I was standing there alone, all the other friends turning towards me and smiling me. I was alone, sad and dejected. I kept on saying no with a lump in my throat. I was dejected. Those were the 5 longest minutes that I had experienced alone. And when I went back home that day and asked and narrated this incident to my mother, she said, "You are not alone. You are different. And don't worry, there will be more such incidents to come. Unless and until you feel and you are connected to what you have written or what you have read and what you feel, that's it. You don't have to worry about what others think about it." So, my mother, who happened to be a teacher teaching language in one of the most pioneering school at that time, she taught Sanskrit and Hindi and Gujarati, basically languages, and she made me do all sorts of extracurricular activities that a kid can possibly think of. First, she pushed me a lot. But later on, I connected music, classical music, drawing, and theatre. So while in my school time, I was literally drenched in arts. That is all sorts of arts, music, and mainly, as she was a educationist, I was very much exposed to the Gujarati literature and other too, and I was into all the likes of Munshi and Meghani and every Gujarati poetry or books, and I also got exposed to some of the other literatures like the works of Rabindranath Tagore and Aurobindo, just because of my mother. All right. It's not that I hated science and maths, I was good at it. While I was in affair with the arts, I did not do well in 11th and 12th, which gave me slightly less percentage on merit, so that I could not get admission in medicine or engineering, which were the fields then. I'm talking about this 1980s. Late 80s. So what happened was I was made to go to a city called Pune, where again 4 years I was totally drenched in the great Marathi literature. I did not spare any chance of doing any backstage to the great competitions, theatre competitions that they have in Pune. And with all my localite friends, I became a Marathi man. And what happened was that, okay, wait, I'm not going to tell you the whole autobiography. What I'm telling you, that the early years I got exposed in the various arts came back right to me in a strong way in last 5 years that I had, and we had amazing time. I just want to share you, if time permits, all the 3. But the stories that they are not stories basically, they are facts and true stories. I'll start. The first thing that After starting an NGO called Prayas Team, we were actually doing some rescue work in saving injured animals, birds, okay, on our own, with Nature Club and all. We just started gathering people who actually got inspired by seeing us too, right? That was a very close community, around 10 to 15 people. But we tried to focus more. And what happened was that we started, we like-minded people started an NGO called Prayas in 2005, where we actually wanted to make some change. Okay, so the biggest problem statement was the birds getting injured in kite flying season. All those who live in Surat, you know that what happens in kite flying. 2005, we had a helpline and we received call for injured birds. We used to go rescue them, treat them, and make them fly again. The calls started increasing every year, and we felt happy. Oh, we are doing something great. But on the third year, actually this joy turned into sorrow, that because nothing seems to change. It's just that we are running around more and more, right? The calls are getting doubled, and we need to change. We need to stop it, basically. We tried sending messages, right, with photographs and videos, and we shouted. Nothing seemed to work. And then, out of this anger, one day I just switched off my cell phone and went into 2 hours and just went on writing something. After those 2 hours, I ended up with a story, which I just circulated, and my teammates said that, oh, I think we should share this story to people. And we shared it to schools and other members, other members of community. I don't know what I have written in this story. It's basically very simple and very childish one. But that story went miles. And that story has a great story behind it. It was just a sort of a bird narrating its story. What schools did, the great schools, the leading schools, what they did, the principals of the schools were so appealed by the story that they made out copies. They handed the story over to each and every kid, mainly small kids, and made them to go to their parents, get the sign on it after reading it. Enthused after this this feedback, we on our own copied, made many copies and put it as a paper insert and mailed it and put it on our website. It was received so well. Some newspapers actually published the whole story, 2-page. And it was a great feedback. I don't know what might have appealed to kids or the people. The feedback that we received, the change we got was phenomenal. Suddenly, thousands of people, I mean thousands of people were getting back to us that they are going to stop flying kites and trying to do fun in some alternative way. We heard from residential complexes where they have skyrise, 6 or 7 skyrise, and all those 300 families went on the rooftop on the Uttarayan day, but they did not engage in kite flying. They just made halla gulla and fun, but without kite flying. Those who are not from Surat, they just for the knowledge, kite flying, they have a very sharp glass powder coated razor edge thread, which just keep dangling into the streets, on trees, and forget birds. On an average, 11 people die a very cruel death every year. Okay, but earlier shouts and videos and films and everything were not so appealing. I don't know what they find in this story. It just clicked. And the story has a great story behind it. School students took it so well, the story inspired them to do something which is still beyond our imagination. school principal said that I'm going to cancel my holiday, I'm going to come to the school, let's have fun in the school. All children, one of our rescue centers was set up in one of the schools, and kids used to see how the birds got injured. They helped us treating the birds, and the students who were spare, by on their own, suggested to the principal that let's do something to stop this. So they made up groups, teams of 5 or 6 people. They went outside on the communities, knocked on the doors, said, we are here to clean up the threats from your society. Please let us do that. Those citizens were also put under shame. They helped them trying to clean up, and they gathered lots and lots of kgs of this thread. And since they came in all colors, some kid thought of since they were sitting spare, they thought of to make things out of it. And boy, what they made! Right from doormats to car danglers to pen stands and puppets and everything, amazing. We just could not see, and since we were very busy rescuing and coordinating rescue activity, after 4 or 5 days, I hear from the school principal said, you are invited for an exhibition. They called all the parents, put up this exhibition of things that they collected, which might be result in somebody's death. They put up an exhibition, they auctioned it, and the fundraise went into help of rescuing birds. This is something which we did not believe in. This is something amazing. I don't know what inspired, but I guess that story which I had written in at the set of the trigger. Of course, this spark of inspiration, he had to be augmented by all kinds of hard work and support. But I think this story made a change in Uttarayan of Surat, and people still enjoy the Uttarayan very much. But I think that what they do is they just don't fly kites, they just save birds. Next story I have. Okay, next agenda was the POP idol of Ganesha, and since just today you might have all read the headlines. Today's headlines are different than last year's headlines. Okay, what happened was that since I had spent a lot of time in Pune, there was a lot of Marathi literature and Marathi Sahitya that I got exposed to. And one of the major figures was Lokmanya, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. And since we're trying to sum up something that we should come about to give a message, deliver a message at the heart to all those happy and enthusiastic people who engaged in Ganesh Utsav, nothing seemed to work earlier. So we tried to continue our resort to arts. We one day decided to write a street play. And let's go to Ganesh Mandaps and tell this story. Alright, so a friend who was doing Marathi theatre at Pune, engineering, my engineering classmate, he came down to Surat. We wrote a script under guidance of Shri Kapil Dev Shukla. We made it a street smart play. He was obviously set up as Lokmanya, and they could not find anyone other to make up a very popular character called Munnabai, because the Munnabai MBBS was going on around that time in a big head. So actually we identified one person in the Ganesh Utsav, every Ganesh Mandal, as a Munnabai, who was followed by all his friends. So we tried to address the heart of the purpose of Ganesh Utsav, and best way to tell it, since everybody know that Ganesh Utsav was started by Lokmanya to gather Indian people to fight the Britishers. So what we did was, the story was a bit, in fact, very funny, the street play, and we performed these street play to almost, half the Ganesh mandals. I won't say almost all, but I think we, on the first Ganesh Utsav, we performed around 18 performance a night, that is from 7 to 11, 12 in the night. We went on performing from one mandap to one mandap, and I don't know what was in the script, but at the end of every script, the Munna Bhai of that mandal gave us a pledge that next time I am going to get a clay idol. Alright. And there, at that time, in say 2009, the authorities or the police were not able to push this matter very firmly, as it was a religious and sensitive matter that don't make POP idols, right? Because it was a popular sentiment to make POP idols big idols, right? So next year we got a chance. We were invited by the coordination committee of Ganesh Utsav to perform this play when they were meeting for their coordination. So suddenly almost all the Ganesh Utsav mandals got this message, right? And since there was a very good Marathi backdrop to this street play, many of the coordinator leaders connected it to very well. And Ganesh Utsav Samiti declared that next year we are going to have all clay idols, and that is what internally they inspired and got it. So after that, since the sentiment changed, the authority also came up. This is how we prepared. Newspapers took it very well and spread and pushed the idea. And very next year, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Police and everybody. But before that, the Ganesh Samiti has already decided and declared that we are going to have clay idols. So it was the phenomenal change in terms of, in time of 3 years after starting that street play to this today. Earlier they had Visarjan of Ganesh idols. Now you might have read today's Times of India, the Visarjan of eco-friendly Ganesh idols. So that was something which started from a street play, a script of a street play, and ended up in a big change. So that was something amazing which we did not think. As he said that you don't just think on what you want to do, you just feel like doing it, and we did it. And I think it was a great feedback for us. So this use of literature or art basically to one of the 6 portions, the art. Use of art, connection of art to inspire, hit us. Earlier, Surat was identified as a very commercial city, and all were going guns on development. A tree was something which was just an object, and one of the big beautiful banyan tree which was going to be cut in a development of CC road, make-up of Upna Magdala road. What happened that that was the last one, because it was worshipped on Vat Savitri Day by so many ladies there. They thought it to cut it last, and the whole road from west to east was done, and only that tree was left waiting to be cut. The machinery was waiting to cut the tree, and it was my road to office every day. So in an anger, I just wrote an email. I just clicked a picture from my point and shoot and attached it, addressed it to the municipal commissioner, and was about to send it. But then I thought fit to add 2 lines of poetry to it. Then I sent it. While I was coming back to my home, I received an SMS from the commissioner. Okay, what do you want to do? I said, we want to transplant it. When? Because tomorrow they are going to cut it. So I said, we'll do it tonight. From the night, I just immediately after that, I got a call from zonal chief, said, let's do it. And from night 12 o'clock to around 2:30, we shifted the whole this big banyan tree 20 feet aside on the side of the road. And the citizens, locals there woke up to a ped which was briefly named by one of our team members as Chalta ped, because it just shifted itself from 20 feet. So that triggered the sensitivity and the ability of even the authorities. The commissioner, Ms. Aparna, actually went into do an MOU with the Chamber of Commerce, Prayas and Corporation that we will not cut any tree, we are going to transplant all the trees which are technically be able to transplant, and we will be shifting them, we will not cut them. And after that key transplant, next year same tree was worshipped but on the side of the road. And after that, it became a tradition. Every road plan was first considered, all the trees were seen, they gave us a time to transplant help. Basically, they led, we just supported. Corporation transplant all the trees, let it be Udnamukda Road, let it be flyovers, let it be BRTS, all the trees that are can be saved now transplant, they don't cut it. And this is what happens. I mean, the very machinery that earlier was used to cut the trees are now being used to transplant the trees first. And even newspapers took the clue and tried to make people sensitive using art, beautiful colors and flowers, and the art in the tree to make people aware and sensitive. These are the two lines from our own poet, Bhagavati Sharma, that I wrote on the photograph I sent to the commissioner. And I think her Gujarati was so good that she really connected with it. In my early years, my mother always told me that you need to have the feel. If you are not good at any classical music or any art, that's fine in performance. You need to be connected, and at least you need to feel the art. Right? I would definitely say that let our kids and students at least connect and feel to the arts, because it's the same art